Part 1. The Discovery. The wind screamed across the ice fields of Velara 9 like a wounded animal. Deho pulled his thermal coat tighter around his body as he walked through the blinding snow. He could barely see 3 meters ahead. The storm had come faster than anyone expected. He should have stayed at the outpost, but they needed the supplies from the storage unit. Someone had to make the trip. His boots crunched against the frozen ground. Each step was a battle against the wind. The temperature read -40 degrees on his wrist display. Without the coat, he would die in minutes. Even with it, he had maybe an hour before the cold found ways through the insulation. Deho had been on Velara 9 for 2 years now. He was an engineer, sent here to help maintain the mining equipment. The planet was rich in rare minerals that Earth needed. The pay was good. The isolation was hard. There were only 37 humans on this entire frozen rock. They were the only warm-blooded creatures stupid enough to build a home here. The storage unit was just ahead. He could see its dark outline through the snow. 5 more minutes. Get the medical supplies. Get back. Simple. That was when he saw it. At first he thought it was a rock, a strange dark shape against the white snow. But rocks did not glow. This thing had patches of blue light flickering across its surface. Weak light. Dying light. Deho changed direction. His logical mind told him to ignore it. Get the supplies, get home. Do not investigate strange things in a deadly storm. But his feet did not listen to logic. They carried him toward the shape. As he got closer, his breath caught in his throat. It was not a rock. It was alive. The creature was small, maybe the size of a 7-year-old human child. Its body was covered in what looked like crystalline scales that reflected the dim light. The scales were turning gray instead of their natural blue. The creature's eyes were closed. Its small chest moved up and down slowly, too slowly. Deho had never seen anything like it. The only aliens humanity had encountered were the Velthir. They lived in the warmer regions of the planet, far from the human outpost. The two species rarely interacted. Relations were cold, just like the planet. Was this a Velthir child? The creature shivered. Its tiny hands were curled against its chest. It wore some kind of thin garment that was completely wrong for this weather. No coat, no boots, nothing to protect it from the killing cold. Deho looked back toward the outpost. He looked at his wrist display. Then he looked at the dying child in the snow. He did not think. Thinking was dangerous right now. Thinking would remind him that helping might start a war. Thinking would tell him that his own survival had to come first. Thinking would list 1,000 reasons to walk away. So he did not think. He acted. Deho pulled off his thermal coat. The cold hit him like a physical blow. The wind cut through his inner layers immediately. His body screamed at him. "What are you doing?" "You will die." He knelt beside the creature and wrapped his coat around its small body. The child was so light. Its crystalline skin was ice cold to touch. He lifted it into his arms and held it against his chest. His own body heat might buy a few more minutes of life. Then Deho ran. He ran through the storm with the alien child clutched to his chest. His teeth chattered. His fingers were already going numb. The cold stabbed into his bones like knives. Every breath burned his lungs. The outpost was 800 meters away. It might as well have been 800 kilometers. His legs pumped. His heart hammered. The wind fought him for every meter. Snow stung his exposed face. His body temperature dropped. Warning lights flashed on his wrist display. Core temperature falling. Danger. Seek shelter immediately. He knew that. His body knew that. Every cell screamed at him to stop, to rest, to sleep in the snow. No, keep moving. 1 foot, then the other. Do not stop. Do not think. Just move. The child in his arms stirred slightly. Its eyes opened just a crack. They were large and golden. They looked at him with confusion, with fear, with something else, hope. Then the eyes closed again. "Stay with me," Deho gasped through frozen lips. Almost there. "Stay with me." He could see the outpost lights now, orange and warm through the white storm. So close, his legs were failing. His coordination was gone. He stumbled, fell to one knee. The child nearly slipped from his numb arms. "Get up." Get up, he forced himself to stand. Forced his legs to move. 300 meters. 200. 100, the exterior door. His hands would not work properly. He slammed his shoulder against the emergency panel. Nothing happened. He hit it again. Again. The door hissed open. Deho fell inside. The warmth of the airlock surrounded him. The door sealed behind them. He lay on the metal floor, still holding the alien child. His whole body shook violently. The inner door opened. Someone shouted. Multiple voices. Footsteps running. Deho! What happened? Is that a get medical here now? Hands lifted him. Other hands carefully took the child from his arms. He wanted to protest, to keep protecting it, but his body had nothing left. Someone wrapped emergency blankets around him. A woman's face appeared above him. Sora, the medical officer. Her eyes were wide with shock. You insane idiot, she said, but her hands were gentle as she checked his vitals. Your core temperature is at dangerous levels. You could have died, the child, Deho managed to whisper. His lips felt like frozen meat. Sora glanced over her shoulder. Another medic was carrying the small alien toward the medical bay. The child was still wrapped in Deho's coat. We will do what we can, Sora said. But right now I need to save you first. No, Deho said. He tried to sit up, failed. Save the child. I chose this. The child did not. Sora stared at him. Then she shook her head. Fine, but you are staying right here under these heaters. Do not even think about moving. She stood and ran after the others toward the medical bay. Deho lay on the warm floor of the airlock. His body slowly remembered how to feel things besides cold. Pain crept in. His fingers burned as blood returned to them. His face ached. His chest hurt with every breath, but he was alive. Was the child alive? Other colonists gathered around him. Someone brought hot liquid. They helped him sit up. They asked questions he could barely understand. What was he doing out there? Where did the alien come from? Why did he bring it here? Deho did not have answers. He just knew one thing. He had found a child dying in the snow. And he had done the only thing that mattered. He had tried to save it. Whatever came next, whatever consequences followed, that simple truth remained. A child had needed help. And a human had given everything he could to provide it, even if it was just a coat. Part 2. Cultural clash. 3 days had passed since Deho brought the alien child into the outpost. 3 days of arguments. 3 days of fear. 3 days of questions nobody could answer. The child was alive. That was something. Sora and her medical team had worked through the first night to stabilize the small creature. The crystalline scales had slowly returned to their blue glow. The child's temperature had normalized. Its breathing had become steady, but it had not woken up. Deho sat beside the medical bed for hours each day. His own recovery had been quick. Minor frostbite on 3 fingers. Some tissue damage that would heal. Nothing permanent. He had been lucky. The child's small hand rested on top of the blanket. Those strange crystalline fingers caught the light in beautiful ways. Deho had placed his coat on a chair nearby. The child had gripped it tightly when they first tried to remove it, so they left it within reach. You should rest, Sora said, entering the medical bay. She carried a data pad and looked tired. You have been here for 6 hours. Has anything changed? Deho asked. No, stable but unconscious. Sora sat down across from him with a sigh. I have been reading everything we have about Veltir biology. It is not much. They do not share medical information with us. Will the child be okay? I think so. The body is healing, but I cannot be sure about brain damage from the cold exposure. We will know more when it wakes. Sora studied the child's face. If it wakes, Deho felt something cold in his stomach. It will wake. You have a lot of faith. I have to. The door opened again. This time Captain Hyunwoo entered. Behind him came Taejin, the security chief. Taejin's expression was hard. He always looked like he expected trouble. We need to talk, Hyunwoo said. His voice was gentle but firm. Deho stood. About what? About the situation? Hyunwoo gestured to the child. About what happens next? The child stays here until it recovers, Deho said. That is what happens next. Taejin crossed his arms. And then what? We are harboring an alien from a species that barely tolerates our presence on this planet. Do you understand the political complications? I understand a child was dying. That child might be a test, Taejin said. Or bait, or a spy. We do not know. Sora stood up. A spy? Look at it. It is a child. That does not mean anything. Taejin moved closer to the bed. His eyes scanned the small figure with professional suspicion. The Velthir have technology we do not understand. For all we know, this could be an adult in a child's form. Or a biological weapon. You are being paranoid, Sora said. I am being careful. There is a difference. Taejin turned to Hyunwoo. Captain, we should contact the Velthir authorities. Tell them we found one of their people. Arrange for a pickup. Daeho stepped between Taejin and the bed. No, excuse me? Taejin's eyes narrowed. Not until we know why the child was out there alone. Not until we know it will be safe. Hyunwoo held up a hand. Daeho, I understand your concern. But Taejin has a point. We need to consider the colony's safety. All 37 lives here depend on making smart choices. Smart choices? Daeho felt anger rising in his chest. The smart choice was to leave the child to die. I did not make the smart choice. I made the right choice. Those are not always the same thing. Hyunwoo said quietly. Then maybe we need to change what we think is smart. The room fell silent. Everyone looked at each other. The tension was thick enough to cut. Finally, Sora spoke. I think we are getting ahead of ourselves. The child is still unconscious. We have time to make decisions. Let us focus on medical care first. Politics can wait, Taejin shook his head. Politics never waits. Every hour we keep this child here without notifying the Velthir is an hour we risk conflict. Then we risk it, Daeho said. Easy for you to say. You are not responsible for security. I am responsible for that child. I brought it here. Its safety is on me. Taejin stepped closer to Daeho. You do not get to make unilateral decisions that affect everyone. Enough. Hyunwoo's voice was sharp. Both men stepped back. Fighting helps no one. Here is what we will do. Sora, you continue medical care. Daeho, you can stay with the child, but you also need to return to your regular duties. Taejin, increase security monitoring, but take no action. I will decide when and how we contact the Velthir authorities. Captain, I must protest, Taejin began. Your protest is noted. Dismissed. Taejin's jaw clenched. He looked at Daeho with something between anger and disappointment. Then he turned and left without another word. Hyunwoo sighed. This is a mess, I know, Daeho said. I am sorry. Do not apologize for saving a life. But understand that your choice has consequences, for all of us. Hyunwoo looked at the child. I hope you are right about this. I really do. After Hyunwoo left, Sora put a hand on Daeho's shoulder. You have made an enemy of Taejin. He will survive, will you? He can make your life very difficult. Daeho sat back down beside the bed. I do not care. This child needed help. Nothing else matters, Sora studied him. You have changed. 2 years ago you were quiet, kept to yourself, did your work. Now you are starting political fights. 2 years ago I did not find a dying child in the snow. Fair point. Sora returned to her datapad. For what it is worth, I agree with you. We cannot just hand over the child without knowing more. But be prepared. This is only the beginning. She was right. Over the next 2 days, the colony split into factions. Some people supported Daeho's decision. Others agreed with Taejin that harboring the alien was too dangerous. Arguments broke out in the cafeteria. People stopped talking to each other. The small, close-knit community began to fracture. Daeho felt the weight of it. He had brought this division. His choice had consequences beyond just his own life. But every time he doubted himself, he looked at the child. At the small chest rising and falling, at the blue glow of its crystalline skin, at its peaceful face, no, he had made the right choice. He would make it again. On the 5th day, something changed. Daeho was sitting in his usual spot when the child's fingers twitched. Then its eyes slowly opened. Those large golden eyes focused on nothing at first. Then they found Daeho's face. The child tried to speak. No sound came out. Its hand reached toward Daeho's coat on the chair. Daeho grabbed the coat and placed it in the child's arms. The small creature clutched it immediately. Its body relaxed. The fear in those golden eyes lessened slightly. Sora, Daeho called. Sora, it is awake. Footsteps ran toward the medical bay. Sora burst through the door, medical scanner in hand. She approached slowly, careful not to startle the child. The child watched her with wide eyes. Then it looked back at Daeho. It spoke something in a language he did not understand. The words sounded like crystals chiming together. We cannot understand you, Daeho said gently, but you are safe here. I promise, the child tilted its head. It looked at Daeho, at the coat, at Daeho again. Then slowly it reached out one small hand toward him. Daeho took the hand carefully. The crystalline skin was warm now, alive. The child held his hand and did not let go. Whatever happened next, whatever problems this caused, Daeho knew one thing for certain. He would protect this child no matter what. Part 3, the search party. The warning sirens woke everyone at 4 in the morning. Daeho jumped out of his bed and pulled on his clothes. His heart pounded. The sirens only meant one thing: incoming ship. He ran through the corridors toward the command center. Other colonists were doing the same. Everyone looked scared. Ships did not come to Velara 9 without warning. Ships did not come at all unless something was very wrong. The command center was chaos. Hyunwoo stood at the main console, his face pale. Taejin was beside him, already in full tactical gear. Screens showed radar data and visual feeds. What is it? Daeho asked. Hyunwoo pointed at the largest screen. Veltir warship. Just entered orbit 10 minutes ago. Daeho's stomach dropped. On the screen, he could see the alien vessel. It was massive. 3 times the size of any human ship. Its hull was smooth and dark, covered in the same crystalline material as the child's skin. Lights pulsed across its surface in patterns that hurt to look at. Are they hostile? Someone asked. They have not fired, yet. Taejin's hand rested on his sidearm. But they have not responded to our hails either. Keep trying, Hyunwoo said. Send on all frequencies. Tell them we mean no harm, Captain, Taejin said quietly. They are not here by accident. They know what? About the child. Daeho felt ice in his veins. How could they know? We did not tell anyone. Maybe they have been searching. Maybe they tracked something. Does it matter? Taejin looked at Hyunwoo. Sir, we need to make a decision, now. Before Hyunwoo could respond, the main screen changed. The radar data disappeared. Instead, a face appeared. An alien face. It was similar to the child's face, but adult, larger, stronger. The crystalline features were sharp and angular. The golden eyes held no warmth. The creature wore what looked like a military uniform, dark and formal. Lights pulsed along the collar in complex patterns. When it spoke, the words were translated by the computer. The voice was cold. Human colony. This is Admiral Kethazara of the Veltir Empire. You are harboring stolen property. Surrender it immediately. Stolen property. Daeho felt anger flash through him. The child is not property. Several people looked at him in shock. He had just shouted at an alien admiral. On an open channel, the admiral's eyes focused on Daeho through the screen. You are the one who took it. I saved it. From dying in your snow. You interfered in matters beyond your understanding, human. Hyunwoo stepped forward quickly. Admiral Kethazara, I am Captain Hyunwoo, commander of this colony. We found a child in distress. Our medical officer provided emergency care. We meant no offense. Intention is irrelevant. Return what was taken. We would be happy to discuss the child's return. But first we need assurances. We need to understand why the child was alone in a lethal storm. We need to know it will be safe. The Admiral's expression did not change. You demand things from us? You who squat on our world? Who dig in our soil without true permission? We have a treaty of convenience. Nothing more. The Admiral leaned forward. I will say this once. You have 1 hour to bring the stolen one to your landing pad. A shuttle will retrieve it. If you do not comply, we will retrieve it by force. The screen went dark. Silence filled the command center. Everyone looked at each other. Finally, Taejin spoke. Well, that went badly. We have to give them the child, someone said. We do not have a choice. No, Daeho said. The Admiral called the child called the child stolen property. Something is wrong here. Of course something is wrong. We took their child. Another colonist argued, I did not take anyone. I rescued someone. Hyunwoo held up his hands. Everyone calm down. We need to think clearly. Taejin, what are our defensive capabilities? Taejin laughed bitterly. Against that warship? None. We have mining equipment and small arms. They have weapons that could level this entire facility from orbit. If they want to attack, we lose badly. So we have no choice, Hyunwoo said quietly. There is always a choice, Daeho said. We can ask the child what it wants, where it came from, why it was in the snow. We cannot even communicate with it properly, then we figure out how. We have an hour. We use it. Taejin shook his head. This is insane. You're going to get us all killed for one alien child we know nothing about. Maybe. But I will not hand over a child to people who call it property, not without knowing more. Your moral stand will result in our deaths. Then I will die knowing I did the right thing. Enough. Hyunwoo's voice cut through the argument. Both of you stop. This is not helping. He turned to face the entire room. Here is the situation. We have a Velthir warship in orbit that can destroy us easily. We have a child we cannot communicate with. We have 1 hour to make a decision that affects everyone's lives. I need options. Real options now. A young woman stepped forward. Jiwon, one of the shuttle pilots. Captain, I can have our fastest shuttle ready to launch in 20 minutes. If things go bad, we could evacuate some people. Not everyone, but some. Evacuate where? That warship would catch us in seconds. Maybe. But we could try to reach the supply freighter. It is 2 days away. If we send a distress signal, other human ships might come. In 2 days, we would all be dead, Taejin said. At least we would die trying to survive instead of just surrendering. Hyunwoo rubbed his face. All right. Jiwon, prep the shuttle, just in case. Taejin, get everyone into emergency gear, full environmental suits. If the colony is breached, we need to survive the cold. And the child? Daeho asked. Hyunwoo looked at him. Go talk to it. Use hand signals. Draw pictures. I do not care. Find out what you can. You have 40 minutes. Then I have to make a call. Daeho ran. He ran through the corridors back to the medical bay. Sora was already there, standing protectively in front of the child's bed. The child was awake, looking scared. The sirens had frightened it. They want the child, Daeho said breathlessly. I heard. The announcement went through the whole facility. Sora's face was determined. I will not let them take it by force. You might have to. No, I took an oath. First, do no harm. Handing this child over to people who abandon children in snowstorms counts as harm. Daeho approached the bed slowly. The child watched him with those large golden eyes. It still clutched his coat. He pulled up a chair and sat down at eye level with the child. Then he pointed at himself. Daeho, he said clearly. He repeated it. Daeho. The child tilted its head. Daeho pointed at the child. You? He made a questioning gesture. The child understood. It placed a small hand on its chest. Lyra, it said in that chiming voice. Lyra, Daeho repeated. He smiled. Hello, Lyra. Lyra smiled back. It was the first smile Daeho had seen. It made the child's face glow brighter. Then Daeho's expression became serious. He did not know how to ask what he needed to ask. How do you say, why were you abandoned in gestures? He tried. He pointed at Lyra. Then he made a walking gesture with his fingers. Then he made a motion of lying down in the snow. Then a questioning gesture. Lyra's smile disappeared. Those golden eyes filled with something painful. Fear, shame, sadness. The child's hands moved. It pointed at itself. Then it made a gesture that seemed to mean different or wrong. It shook its head. Then it made a gesture like pushing away. Rejection. Daeho's heart broke. He understood. Lyra was different somehow, and someone had thrown the child away because of it. He reached out and gently took Lyra's hand. He shook his head firmly. He pointed at Lyra. Then he pointed at his own heart. Then he made a gesture of hugging. Lyra stared at him. Then tears formed in those golden eyes, crystalline tears that caught the light. The child threw its arms around Daeho's neck and held on tight. Daeho held the small shaking body. I will not let them hurt you, he whispered. I promise, he meant it. Even if it cost everything. Even if it started a war. Part 4, the truth revealed. 20 minutes remained. Daeho sat with Lyra in the medical bay while the colony prepared for the worst. Outside, he could hear people running. Equipment being moved. Taejin's security team shouting orders. Sora worked frantically at a console. I think I have something, she said. We have a basic translation device. It was designed for mineral survey reports from Velthir regions, but it might work for simple communication. She brought over a small handheld device. It had a screen and a speaker. The database is limited, but it is better than nothing. Daeho took the device. He held it where Lyra could see the screen. He spoke into it slowly. Lyra, can you understand this? The device hummed. Lights flashed across the screen. Then it spoke in that chiming crystal language. Lyra's eyes went wide. The child nodded eagerly. Thank goodness, Sora breathed. Ask it what we need to know, quickly. Daeho chose his words carefully. Lyra, there are Velthir in a ship above us. They want to take you. Are you afraid of them? The device translated. Lyra listened. Then the child's whole body tensed. Fear flooded those golden eyes. Lyra grabbed Deho's arm and shook its head violently. Words poured out in rapid chiming speech. The device struggled to translate. Words appeared on the screen in broken sentences. No, not want. They hurt? No, they leave cold death. I was... Wrong thing. Wrong made. Froken thing. Deho felt cold rage building in his chest. Who left you in the cold? More chiming words. The translation came through. Others, not parent, not admiral. Others say I am mistake, should not be. Wrong blood. Two kinds, impure, they say. Better if gone. Two kinds of blood? Sora leaned in. What does that mean? Deho asked the question through the device. Lyra's response was halting, confused, like the child did not fully understand either. Mother was Veltir. Father was other kind. Lakari people. Veltir say Lakari are lesser. Veltir say mixing is wrong. I am both, so I am nothing, impure thing. They put me in snow to die. Sora's hand covered her mouth. They tried to murder this child for being mixed race? That is what it sounds like, Deho said. His voice was cold. His hand shook with anger. He had saved Lyra from the snow, but the cold was not the real enemy. Prejudice was. Hate was, does the Admiral know? Deho asked through the device. Lyra shook its head. Admiral is guardian, duty-bound, must care for me after Mother died. But Admiral did not choose. Was ordered. Admiral does not know about the removal. The others kept secret. Who are the others? Council members. High families. They say Empire must be pure. They say I shame the bloodlines. They say... Lyra stopped. Fresh tears rolled down the child's face. They say I should never have been born. Deho pulled Lyra into a hug. They are wrong. You hear me? They are completely wrong. The door burst open. Hyunwoo entered with Taejin. Time is up. 5 minutes until their deadline. What did you learn? Deho stood keeping one protective hand on Lyra's shoulder. This child is half Velthir, half another species called Lakari. Some Velthir radicals tried to kill Lyra for being mixed race. They left the child in the storm to die. The Admiral does not know what happened. Taejin's expression barely changed. That does not change our situation. The warship is still up there. They still want the child. We cannot give Lyra to them. They will kill it. We do not know that. Yes, we do. The child just told us. Hyunwoo held up a hand. Let me think. If what Lyra says is true, the Admiral is not part of the plot. Maybe we can explain. Maybe we can negotiate. Or maybe the Admiral will not care, Taejin said. Maybe the Admiral will side with the radicals. We cannot risk it. We also cannot risk a battle we cannot win. The communication console beeped. Everyone froze. Hyunwoo moved to answer it. The screen showed Admiral Kethzara again. The alien's expression was harder than before. Your hour is expired, Captain. Where is my ward? Hyunwoo took a breath. Admiral, before we proceed, we need to share some information we learned. It concerns Lyra's safety. Lyra? The Admiral's eyes flickered. You learned its name? We learned more than that. Admiral, do you know why Lyra was in the snowstorm? It wandered off. Children are careless. No, Lyra was placed there, deliberately, by members of your own people who wanted the child dead. Silence. The Admiral's expression shifted. Something passed through those golden eyes. Shock, disbelief. Explain, the Admiral said slowly. Deho stepped forward. Lyra told us everything. About being half Lakari. About the council members who consider mixed blood shameful. About being taken into the storm and abandoned. They tried to murder your ward, Admiral, and they would have succeeded if I had not found Lyra by chance. The Admiral stared at him. This is... You dare accuse High Council members of... I accuse them of attempted murder. Of a child. Your child under your protection. How do I know you are not lying? How do I know you did not create this story to justify your theft? Because I have no reason to lie. I am just a human engineer who found a dying child. I do not care about your politics or your bloodline purity. I only care that Lyra lives. Deho's voice was hard. Can you say the same? The Admiral's hand clenched. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the alien's posture changed. The rigid military bearing softened just slightly. Bring Lyra to the communication room. I wish to see my ward. Hyunwoo nodded. Deho went back to the medical bay. He explained to Lyra through the translator. The child was terrified, but agreed. They moved to the communication room. Lyra held Deho's hand the entire way. When they stood before the screen, the Admiral leaned forward. "Lyra," the Admiral said in the Velthir language. Lyra responded. The words came out fast and frightened. The translation device could not keep up, but the emotion was clear. The child was telling the Admiral everything. As Lyra spoke, the Admiral's expression changed. The coldness melted. Pain appeared. And something else. Rage. When Lyra finished, the Admiral spoke quietly. "Show me your arms." Lyra hesitated. Then the child pushed up its sleeves. On both arms there were marks. Not from the cold. Not from injury. They looked like restraint marks. Like someone had held Lyra down. The Admiral's entire body went rigid. When it spoke, the voice trembled with barely controlled fury. "I did not know. I swear to you, I did not know. I was told Lyra wandered off during a ceremonial visit. I was told search parties were sent. I was told," the Admiral stopped. "I was lied to. By whom?" Yunwu asked. "Council member Vrathan and his associates. They have long opposed my wardship. They believe mixed bloodlines weaken the Empire." The Admiral's eyes met Deho's. "Human, you saved my ward when my own people tried to kill it. This creates complications. I do not care about complications. You should. By your laws, you performed a noble act. By ours, you interfered in internal matters. By both our laws, those who tried to kill Lyra committed grave crimes." The Admiral paused. "This situation requires careful handling. What do you propose?" Hyunwoo asked. "I propose truth. I will investigate Vrathan and the others. But I need evidence. I need Lyra's testimony formally recorded. And I need—" The Admiral looked directly at Deho. "I need assurance that my ward has been treated well, that human hands have been gentle." Lyra spoke up suddenly. The child pointed at Deho. Words chimed out passionately. The translation device picked up fragments. Saved, warm, protected, kind, gave coat. Gave safety. Gave care. The Admiral listened. Its expression softened further. "I see. Then the human Deho has my gratitude. And my respect." Deho felt something loosen in his chest. "I just did what anyone should do. You did what many of my own people did not. That is not nothing." The Admiral straightened. "Captain Hyunwoo, I request permission to send a shuttle to retrieve Lyra, not by force. By agreement. My ward needs proper medical care and protection from those who would harm it. I will ensure safety personally. How can we trust that?" Taejin demanded. "You cannot. But you also cannot keep my ward forever. And the only way to bring justice to those who tried to kill Lyra is for me to conduct a formal investigation. For that, I need my ward back." Hyunwoo looked at Daeho. "It is your call. You saved Lyra, you get to decide." Daeho looked down at the child holding his hand. He knelt to eye level. "Lyra, do you want to go with the Admiral?" Lyra looked scared. But after a moment, the child nodded. "Admiral is good, not like others. But I am afraid, I know. But I will make sure you have a way to contact us. If anything goes wrong, you call." "Understood?" Lyra nodded. Daeho stood. He looked at the Admiral. "I am trusting you with something precious. Do not make me regret it." "I will not," the Admiral said. "You have my word." Part 5, Human Defiance. 4 days passed in tense peace. Admiral Keth Zara had taken Lyra back to the Velthir warship. The child had cried when leaving. Daeho had given Lyra his coat to keep. "Something to remember that you are not alone," he had said. The Admiral had been true to its word so far. Daily updates came through. Lyra was safe. Medical examinations were happening. The investigation into Council member Vrathan had begun, but something felt wrong. Daeho could not shake the feeling. The other humans felt it too. "It is too quiet," Taejin said during a security briefing. "The Admiral's ship has not left orbit. Why stay?" "Protection," Hyunwoo suggested. "If there are radicals who want Lyra dead, the Admiral would want to stay close. Or they are waiting for something." Daeho attended the briefings now. Hyunwoo had made him an unofficial advisor. "You started this situation," the captain had said. "You get to help manage it." On the 5th day, everything went wrong. The alarms woke them at 3 in the morning. Again. But this time it was different. This time the alarms were internal. Breach warnings. Intruder alerts. Daeho grabbed his environment suit and ran. The corridors were flashing red. Emergency lights made everything look like blood. He reached the command center at the same time as others. "Report," Hyunwoo shouted. Taejin was already at his station pulling up security feeds. Two small craft landed at the east perimeter. They bypassed our sensors. Stealth technology. We have intruders in the facility. Multiple contacts. They are moving toward the medical bay. The medical bay? Sora looked confused. But Lyra is not there anymore. They do not know that, Daeho said coldly. They think we still have the child. Who are they? Taejin pulled up a grainy video feed. The image showed figures in dark armor moving through the corridors. The armor was clearly Velther design, but these were not Admiral Kethzara's people. These moved like soldiers. Like assassins, Vrathun's people, Daeho breathed. They came to finish the job. How did they get past the Admiral's ship? The Admiral's ship is on the other side of the planet. They timed this perfectly. Hyunwoo grabbed the communication console. Admiral Kethzara, we are under attack. Hostile Velther forces have entered our facility. No response. Just static. They are jamming communications, Taejin said. We are on our own. How many intruders? At least 8. Maybe more. All armed. We have to evacuate, someone said. Get to the shuttles. They landed at the east perimeter. That is between us and the shuttle bay. Taejin's face was grim. We are trapped. Hyunwoo's jaw clenched. Then we defend. Taejin, arm everyone who can hold a weapon. Daeho, can you do anything with the facility systems? Like what? Slow them down. Lock doors. Cut power to sections, anything. Daeho ran to an engineering console. His hands flew over the controls. He was an engineer, not a soldier. But he knew every system in this facility. Every door. Every power junction. Every environmental control. I can lock them out of sections, he said. But they have cutting tools. It will only buy minutes. Minutes are better than nothing. Do it, Daeho worked. He sealed blast doors. He cut power to entire sections, plunging the intruders into darkness. He vented atmosphere from corridors to force them to take different routes, but the intruders adapted. They cut through doors like butter. They had their own light sources. They wore full environmental suits. On the security feeds, he watched them move with terrifying efficiency. They were professional, trained, deadly. The colonists were not. They were miners, scientists, engineers. They had never fought anyone. Taejin distributed weapons, small arms, mining tools that could be used as clubs. It looked pathetic next to the intruders' advanced gear. They are approaching the medical bay, someone reported. Let them, Hyunwoo said. Everyone fall back to the central hub. We make our stand there. The colonists retreated. They gathered in the largest room in the facility. The central hub was where they held meetings, ate meals, celebrated birthdays. It was the heart of their small community. Now it would be their battlefield. They barricaded the doors with furniture and equipment. Taejin positioned people at defensive points. Everyone looked scared. These were not warriors. These were just regular people trying to survive. Daeho found himself holding a plasma cutter. It was designed for cutting metal, but it could cut flesh too. His hands shook. Sora stood beside him. She held a mining laser. Her medical oath said, do no harm. But her eyes said she would burn anyone who tried to hurt her people. This is insane, she whispered. We cannot win this, and we do not have to win. We just have to survive until the Admiral realizes what is happening. If the Admiral realizes, they might be in on it. No, the Admiral's bond with Lyra is real. I saw it. I hope you are right. The doors exploded. Not opened. Exploded. The blast threw furniture across the room. Colonists screamed. Through the smoke and debris, the intruders entered. They were terrifying up close. The dark armor made them look inhuman. Their weapons hummed with deadly energy. One of them spoke in the Velther language. The translation device picked it up. Where is the impure one? Hyunwoo stepped forward. He held a standard pistol. It looked like a toy compared to the alien weapons. The child is not here. Leave our facility immediately. You lie. Our intelligence says you harbor the mistake. Surrender it now. Your intelligence is wrong. The child left days ago. The lead intruder tilted its head. Then it raised its weapon toward Hyunwoo. Then you are no longer useful. Everything happened at once. Taejin fired first. His shot hit the intruder's armor. Did nothing. The armor absorbed the energy. The intruder fired back. The bolt of energy screamed across the room. Daeho dove. He hit Hyunwoo from the side. They both crashed to the floor. The energy bolt passed through the space where Hyunwoo's head had been. It struck the wall behind them. The wall exploded. Then chaos erupted. The colonists fired everything they had. Plasma cutters, mining lasers, small arms. Most shots did nothing to the intruder's armor. But a few found gaps. Weak points. One intruder fell. The intruders fired back with brutal efficiency. Energy bolts screamed through the air. Colonists dove for cover. Someone screamed. Deho could not tell who. He grabbed the plasma cutter and rolled behind an overturned table. His engineer's mind worked frantically. The armor was too strong. But armor had power sources. Power sources could be overloaded. Tajin, he shouted. Concentrate fire on their power packs. Back of the armor. Tajin heard. He relayed the order. The colonists adjusted their aim. It worked. Kind of. One intruder's power pack sparked when hit. The armor shut down. The intruder inside stumbled. Sora hit it with the mining laser. The intruder fell, but there were still 6 more. And the colonists were not trained for this. They were panicking. Making mistakes. An intruder reached the barricade. It raised its weapon toward a young colonist, a kid. Barely 20 years old, Jiwan threw herself in front of him. The energy bolt hit her instead. She went down hard. No! Deho ran toward her, stupid, reckless. But he could not watch people die. An intruder turned toward him. Raised its weapon. Deho knew he was about to die. Then something massive hit the intruder from behind. The ceiling exploded. Debris rained down. Through the hole came something large and metallic. A combat drone. More followed. 6 drones dropped into the room. They engaged the intruders immediately. The fighting became even more chaotic. A voice boomed through the facility speakers. Admiral Keth Zara's voice. Hold position, humans. My forces are entering the facility. Relief flooded through Deho. The Admiral had come. They were not alone. The fight lasted 5 more brutal minutes. The Admiral's combat drones were more advanced than the intruders. Better trained. They overwhelmed Vrathan's assassins methodically. One by one, the intruders fell. When it was over, the central hub looked like a war zone. Smoke filled the air. Debris covered the floor. Scorch marks scarred every surface. 8 colonists were injured, 3 seriously. G1 was among them. Sora and the other medics rushed to help. Deho stood in the middle of the destruction. His whole body shook. He had never been in combat before. Never wanted to be. He was an engineer. Engineers built things. They did not fight wars, but he had fought today. For his people. For a child he had saved. For what was right. Admiral Keth Zara entered through the main door. The alien moved with military precision. Behind it came a squad of soldiers. Real soldiers. Not assassins. These wore the Admiral's colors. The Admiral surveyed the damage. Then it turned to Hyunwoo. I apologize, Captain. Vrathan's people disabled my communications and moved faster than anticipated. I came as soon as I detected the breach. You saved us, Hyunwoo said. His voice was tired. Thank you. No, your people saved themselves. Against trained killers with superior weapons you held. That is impressive. The Admiral looked at Deho. The human who gave his coat. Are you injured? I am fine. Others are not. My medical ship will provide assistance. Your wounded will receive the best care. What about Vrathan? The Admiral's expression became cold. The council member is being arrested as we speak, along with 17 others involved in the conspiracy. Evidence from the prisoners here will ensure their conviction. And Lyra? Safe, my ward asks about you constantly. The Admiral paused. Lyra wished to come with me. To help defend you. I explained that the child is too young for battle. But I promised to give you this. The Admiral held out something. Deho's coat. But it had been modified. Velthir technology had been woven into the fabric. Part 6. The coat that started it. All the siege had been 3 hours ago, but it felt like 3 years. Deho sat in his quarters staring at the modified coat in his hands. The fabric was the same, worn, stained from the snow, but now it glowed faintly with Velthir technology. Protective energy fields hummed in the weave. A child had done this. A child he had saved with this very coat. Someone knocked on his door. Come in, he said without looking up. Sora entered. She looked exhausted. Blood stained her medical uniform. Not her blood. Other people's. Jiwan is stable, she said. She will recover. The Admiral's medical technology is incredible. Injuries that would take months to heal will take weeks. That is good. You should rest. I cannot. Sora sat down beside him. You saved Hyunwoo's life during the fight. Did you know that? When you pushed him out of the way. Anyone would have done it. No. Most people freeze when weapons are pointed at them. You moved. She paused. You keep doing that. Moving when others freeze. First with Lyra, now with this. I just react. I do not think. Maybe that is your strength. You do not overthink. You just do what is right. A beep came from the communication console. Daeho stood and activated it. Admiral Keth Zara's face appeared on the screen. Human Daeho, I have someone who wishes to speak with you. The image shifted. Lyra appeared. The child looked healthy now. The blue glow of its crystalline skin was bright and strong. But those golden eyes held sadness. Daeho, Lyra's voice came through the translator. Are you hurt? I heard about the attack. I wanted to help. I wanted to fight with you, Daeho smiled. I am fine. And you are too young to fight. You did help, though. You modified my coat. It kept me safe. I wanted to do more. I wanted to be there. You were there. In here. Daeho touched his chest over his heart. Knowing you were safe gave me strength. That was enough. Lyra's expression crumpled. Tears formed in those golden eyes. Why did you do it? Why did you give me your coat that day? You did not know me. I am not your kind. I am not even fully Velthir. I am just mixed, wrong. Why did you risk everything for me? The question hung in the air. Sora watched Daeho carefully. This was the question that had started everything. The question that had led to political chaos. To battle, to pain, why? Daeho thought about his answer carefully. He looked at Lyra's face. At this child who had been thrown away for being different. This child who had been taught to believe it was wrong. Broken, not worth saving. Do you remember that moment in the snow? Daeho asked gently. When I first found you? Lyra nodded. What do you remember feeling? Cold, pain, fear, loneliness. Lyra's voice was small. I thought I was dying. I thought no one cared. And when I wrapped you in my coat? Warm, safe. Tears rolled down Lyra's crystalline cheeks. Confused. I did not understand why a stranger would help me. Why anyone would help me. Daeho leaned closer to the screen. That is exactly why I did it. Because you needed help. Because you were a child in pain. Because leaving you there would have been wrong. He paused. Your people told you that being mixed makes you worth less. They are wrong. Being different does not make you less. It just makes you you. And you are worth protecting. Every child is worth protecting. Even alien children. Even ones who are not your kind. Especially those. Because if we only protect our own kind, we are not really protecting anyone. We are just picking sides. Real protection means helping whoever needs it. No matter who they are. No matter what they look like. Daeho touched the coat. This coat kept me warm for 2 years. But the moment you needed it more than I did, it became yours. That is what things are for. What we are for. To help each other. Lyra stared at him through the screen. But you almost died. You almost froze. Yes, but you would have died for certain if I had done nothing. I chose to risk maybe dying to prevent definitely dying. That is an easy choice. Not for most people. Most people walked past me in that snow. Before the bad ones took me far away, others saw. They looked away. They pretended not to notice. You were different, why? Daeho thought about it. I grew up poor. On Earth. In a city where many people had nothing. I was hungry a lot as a child. Cold a lot. Scared a lot. He smiled sadly. But there were people who helped. Strangers who shared food. Who gave coats. Who showed kindness for no reason. They saved me. Not once, many times. I am alive because people I did not know chose to care. So when I saw you in the snow, I just thought, someone has to care. Someone has to be the one who stops. Why not me? Sora wiped her eyes. She was crying. Daeho had not noticed. Lyra was crying harder now. I wish all people were like you. Many are. You just have not met them yet. Most people are good. Most people want to help. They just get scared, or they do not know how, or they think someone else will do it. Daeho leaned forward. But here is a secret. Being brave is not about not being scared. It is about being scared and helping anyway. Anyone can do it. Even you. Me? Yes, you survived being abandoned. You survived the cold. You survived having people tell you that you should not exist. And you are still kind. Still hopeful. Still trusting strangers like me. Daeho smiled. That is the bravest thing of all. Lyra touched the screen as if trying to reach through it. I want to be like you when I grow up. Then be better than me. Be someone who helps even more people. Be someone who changes minds. Be someone who shows the universe that being different is not wrong. It is beautiful. The door to Daiho's quarters opened. Hyunwoo entered. He looked apologetic. Sorry to interrupt, but we have a situation. The Admiral wants to speak with all of us. Something important. Daiho looked at Lyra. I have to go. Stay safe, keep learning, and remember that you matter. Always. I will remember. Goodbye, Daiho. The screen went dark. Minutes later, the entire colony gathered in the repaired central hub. The damage had been patched temporarily, but scorch marks still covered the walls. Reminders of the battle. Admiral Kethzara stood at the center. Behind the alien commander were several other Veltir in formal robes. Important people, leaders, humans of Velara 9, the Admiral began. What happened here has spread across the Empire. The story of how you defended my ward against assassins, how you fought despite having no chance of victory, how you protected a child that was not yours to protect. The Admiral paused. This has caused conversations, many conversations. One of the robed Velthir stepped forward. I am Elder Kermuth. I speak for the Velthir High Council. What occurred here was shameful. Members of our own council attempted to murder a child, violated our most sacred laws, dishonored our entire species. The Elder bowed to humans. A Velthir Elder bowed to humans. We owe you a debt, not just for saving young Lyra, but for showing us what we had become, showing us that we had lost our way. Murmurs ran through the colonists. No one knew what to say. Elder Kermoth continued. The council members involved have been arrested. Frethen and his followers will face trial. New laws are being written to protect mixed children, to end the prejudice against the Lakari and others. It will take time. Change is slow, but it has begun. The Elder looked directly at Daiho, because one human gave his coat to a freezing child. Daiho felt everyone's eyes on him. He wanted to disappear. He was not special. He had just done what anyone should do. But maybe that was the point. Maybe that was the lesson. Anyone could do it. Anyone could choose kindness. It was not about being special. It was about being willing. Admiral Kethzara spoke again. The Velthir Empire wishes to establish formal relations with humanity. Not just treaties. Real friendship. Real cooperation. We have technology you need. You have something we need more. Perspective. Heart. The ability to see worth in all beings. Hyunwoo stepped forward. We would be honored to build that friendship. There is more, the Admiral gestured. Lyra wishes to spend time with both families, to learn from both cultures. With your permission, my ward would like to visit your colony regularly, to learn from you, to grow up knowing both worlds. Daiho felt warmth spread through his chest. Lyra is always welcome here, always. Then it is decided. The Admiral smiled. Actually smiled. Thank you for everything, but especially for the coat. That simple act of kindness changed everything. After the formal meeting ended, people celebrated. Despite the injuries, despite the fear, they had survived. They had won, not through weapons, through something stronger, through proving that humanity's greatest weapon was not technology or strength. It was the willingness to care, even when it was hard, even when it was dangerous, even when it cost everything. Daiho stood outside the facility later that night. He wore the modified coat. Above him, stars filled the sky. Somewhere up there, Lyra was safe. Learning, growing, becoming someone amazing, and it had all started with a coat. One simple act. One moment of choosing kindness over self-preservation. That was all it took to change the universe. Daiho smiled at the stars. Maybe humanity did have something special after all. Not because they were stronger. Not because they were smarter. But because when they saw someone who needed help, they stopped. They gave their coat. Part 7. A new dawn. 6 weeks had passed since the battle. The colony had returned to something like normal life. The damaged sections were repaired. The injured had healed. Jiwon was back to flying supply runs, though she moved more carefully now. Some scars did not show on the outside. Daiho stood in his workshop repairing a mining drill that had broken down. This was familiar, comfortable, fixing things made sense. Machines had problems with clear solutions. Unlike politics. Unlike war, the door opened. Hyunwoo entered with a data pad. You have visitors arriving in 2 hours. Visitors? Lyra and the Admiral. They are coming for the child's first official visit. Hyunwoo smiled. Nervous? Why would I be nervous? Because you have basically become a father figure to an alien child who is also the center of an empire-wide political movement. No pressure. Daeho put down his tools. I am just an engineer. I did not ask for any of this. Nobody asks for the moments that define them. They just happen. You responded well. Hyunwoo sat on a workbench. I have news. The Velthir Council has officially recognized mixed-species children as full citizens. Lyra's case changed everything. There are celebrations across the Lakari worlds. They are calling you a hero. I am not a hero. I just found a child and helped. That is what heroes do. They help when others do not. Hyunwoo paused. Also, Earth government contacted us. They want to send diplomats, journalists, scientists. Everyone wants to study what happened here. How one colony became the bridge between two civilizations. Daeho groaned. I do not want to talk to journalists. Too bad. You are famous now. The human who gave his coat. It is a good story. People need good stories right now. Before Daeho could respond, the facility alarms chimed. Not emergency alarms. Arrival notifications. A shuttle was landing. Daeho and Hyunwoo walked to the landing pad. Other colonists gathered too. Sora, Taijin, Jiwon, even people who had opposed helping Lyra at first. Everyone wanted to see the child who had changed everything. The Velthir shuttle touched down gracefully. The ramp extended. Admiral Kethazara emerged first, wearing less formal attire than before. Behind the Admiral came Lyra. The child had grown. Not much, but enough to notice. Lyra's crystalline features seemed brighter, healthier. The golden eyes sparkled with excitement. When Lyra saw Daeho, the child ran. Actually ran. Daeho barely had time to kneel before small arms wrapped around his neck. Daeho, I missed you so much. I have so many things to tell you. I learned 3 new languages and studied human history and practiced with the translation device and... Daeho laughed. He hugged the child back. Slow down. We have time. Lyra pulled back. Is it okay that I am here? I do not want to cause trouble again. You never cause trouble. Other people cause trouble. You were just being yourself. And yes, it is very okay that you are here. The Admiral approached. Thank you for welcoming us, Captain Hyunwoo. And you, Daeho. Lyra has spoken of nothing but this visit for weeks. We are glad to have you both, Hyunwoo said. Please come inside. We prepared quarters for you. They walked through the facility. Lyra held Daeho's hand the whole way. The child asked questions about everything. How did this machine work? What did that sign mean? Why was the ceiling that color? Daeho answered each question patiently. It felt natural. Right, like teaching a younger sibling. Or a child. His child, a small part of his mind, whispered. Not by blood, but by choice. By love, they reached the common area. Colonists had decorated it. Banners hung from the ceiling. Both human and Velthir designs. A table held food from both cultures. Someone had even made a cake with blue frosting to match Lyra's crystalline glow. Lyra's eyes went wide. This is for me? We wanted to celebrate, Sora said. She knelt beside Lyra. You are part of our family now. This is what families do. Lyra started crying. Happy tears this time. I have never had a party before. The other children did not include me. They said I was wrong. Then they were stupid, Jiwon said bluntly. She had a new scar across her cheek from the battle. It made her look fiercer. You are not wrong. You are amazing. Anyone who says different can fight me. Lyra giggled through the tears. You would fight for me? Kid, I already did. Got shot for it too. So yeah, I would do it again. Jiwon ruffled Lyra's head. The child did not have hair, but the gesture was clear. Affection, acceptance. The party lasted hours. Humans and Velthir mixed. The Admiral spoke with colonists about technology exchanges, cultural programs, trade agreements, building something new, but the real miracle was smaller. It was Lyra laughing with human children, playing games, learning jokes, being just a kid. Not a political symbol, not a test case, just a child having fun. Daeho watched from the side. Sora joined him. You look thoughtful. I'm thinking about how strange life is. 6 weeks ago, we almost died. Now we are having a party. Life moves fast. You taught me that. When you ran into a storm without thinking, I thought about it. For about 2 seconds. Then I just acted. Good. Thinking is overrated sometimes. Sora smiled. The Velthir medical ship brought something interesting. New research on cold exposure. They studied what happened to Lyra, how the child survived. Turns out Lyra's mixed biology actually helped. The Lakari genes provided resistance the pure Velthir do not have. The thing they tried to kill Lyra for ended up saving the child's life. Deho felt a lump in his throat. So Lyra is not weaker for being mixed, stronger. Exactly. The Velthir scientists are excited. They think mixed individuals might have abilities neither parent species has alone. Hybrid vigor, they call it. Lyra is not broken. Lyra is evolved. Across the room, Lyra was showing other children how to make crystalline patterns appear on surfaces. The child's small hands moved, and beautiful geometric designs appeared in the air. Half Velthir art, half Lakari color theory. Something new. Something unique. Admiral Kathazara approached Deho. May we speak privately? They stepped into a quieter corridor. The Admiral's expression was serious. I wanted to tell you personally. The trial concluded yesterday. Vrathon and the others were found guilty. They will spend their lives in isolation. They will never harm anyone again. Good, Deho said. But there are others, many others who still believe in purity, who oppose the new laws. There were protests. Some violence. Change creates resistance. The Admiral looked tired. I tell you this because Lyra will not be safe everywhere. There are still threats. Then Lyra stays here as often as possible. With us. I hoped you would say that, which brings me to a proposal. The Admiral pulled out a small device. This is a family bond token. In Velthir culture, it signifies adoption, acceptance into a family group. I would like to offer you one. To formally recognize you as Lyra's guardian, co-parent in your terms. Deho stared at the device. It was